And joining me now, Daniel Hemrick, NASCAR driver. Thanks so much for stopping here in Wichita Falls. Daniel, I guess the first question I've got to ask is going back to last week's race.
It's a lot to ask, probably.
Bumping and running, Joey Logano and Martin Truex Jr. What's your take on that?
So last week was one of the first Xfinity Series off weekends for myself in a long time. So my wife and I actually got to take it in as a fan. I was sitting at home doing normal honey-do lists like most guys on the weekends, and I kept poking my head in the last 15 laps like, oh no, Martin's coming. He's catching Joey. And as they started racing side by side there near the end, I thought, surely Martin's going to keep Joey hung outside. So on the last lap, he can move him up a little bit. And then when Martin cleared Joey, the white flag came out, I thought, oh no. I was just telling everybody actually on the car ride over here, Joey's going to run in the back of him. Sure enough, they sent him down into the corner, and the rest is history. But all of us grew up short track racing. That's like standard short track. That's what you expect when the white flag's out, let alone the NASCAR playoffs. That means everything. You got to give yourself and your team the best opportunity to get the homestead, and that's what Joey Logano did for his team.
Have you ever been in that same position?
Oh, absolutely. Not as much probably in one of the top 3 series of NASCAR, but when you short track race for as long as I did, heck, I grew up short track race for 12, 13, 14 years. That's all I did. And you find yourself in that situation time and time again. And sometimes you're on one side, sometimes you're on the other side. So you got to take it for what it's worth and know that it all comes back around eventually, and it will. So I'm sure that'll be in Joey's mind as he moves forward through the year, but very interesting how that played out.
When you're in that position, is it just your competitive spirit? I mean, do you even think about what you're doing?
I think you're pretty conscious of what's going on, especially at a place like that. You're off the throttle, off the brake, you're actually coasting, and your mental state is probably a little different than what it is at a big fast track like Texas at a 1.5 mile racetrack. So I promise you there was a lot of thought process from both of those guys, a lot of thought that went into how those last 5 laps were going to play out, and they played out just like probably one of the guys thought it would, and didn't play out the way Martin probably thought it would.
And you say you haven't been in that position on as big a stage, but right now with 3 races to go in the Xfinity Series, you're sitting in second place in the standings. So you're kind of in that position, aren't you?
Yeah, it is a great position to be in, that's for sure. And you know, as I took on the role to go drive for RCR 2 years ago, you hope to be able to put yourself in this situation, and those guys deserve a lot of credit for getting me to where I'm at. And hopefully, as we wind down here with only a couple races to go, we're in a good spot, and look forward to, as the laps wind down through the next couple races, especially starting this weekend in Texas, that we can put ourselves in that position when the white flag comes out to be the guy on the aggressive side to be able to win the race, because the work and the effort's been incredible. So it's the stage you hope to be able to be on and then perform on. I'm looking forward to the chance to do that.
What has to happen for you to win out here?
You just have to, first you have to unload, right? Our weekends are pretty long. So when you unload your first lap on the racetrack, any given weekend is the most important. If your car has speed, then you fine tune on that. If it doesn't, you really wholesale and you try to get as much speed out of your race car as quick as you possibly can. By doing that, it's going to give you opportunity. And the good thing about the organization, RCR, Chevrolet, the people that have been supporting us have given us the tools to make sure we had the most speed we can have. And it's crazy because I've been a part of that kind of evolution of last year our cars weren't as good as they've been here as of late, and it's made more opportunity. We've led more laps, sat on more poles, done the things that we need to do. Haven't been on the win yet, but I promise you our cars are as best they've been. Our team is gelling the best it's been, and that's what makes opportunity, and hopefully that opportunity is wins.
I was just going to mention what you just said. I mean, you've been on the Truck Series for a couple of years, the Xfinity Series for a couple of years. You're second place in the standings, yet you've never won a race in these past 4 years. Is it frustrating for you?
Oh, without a doubt. Any race car driver, right? It's competition, ran sport. You got to perform. You got to make the most of whatever opportunity. And I feel like I've told everybody that my entire career, I've always got in race cars that weren't winning races with anybody else in them at that time either. The thing was, I tried to make sure when I got in them, I could improve the program. And I think I'm not one to boast by any means, but I think I've been able to give my feedback and take the company of RCR and our Xfinity Series program to a different level, and that's what's allowed us now to have that opportunity to win races. So it's kind of putting in the work before to get you where you're at. So I take pride in the fact that all that has built to the moment that it's in front of me right now, and look forward to sealing the deal as soon as possible.
Have you envisioned what it's going to be like when you take the checkered flag?
I mean, I've won races in the past, right? I mean, you never forget that feeling, but as each week goes by and you don't win, you know that when it does happen, it's going to be that much better, that much sweeter for not only myself, right, but the team, for our families, the people that also have to go through the struggles to let us live this dream and be gone so many weeks out of the year. So if you let yourself think about that, I feel like your judgment's a little clouded, but it's definitely going to be a heck of a party back when we get back to North Carolina.
There's something to be said for consistency in this sport, though, and that's what has gotten you into the position that you're in with RCR. You get the call. What was it like that you found out you had a ride in the series next year?
Yeah, it's completely humbling, to say the least. You know, my relationship with Richard Childress, with his grandsons Austin and Ty, goes so much further back to us growing up as kids, 12, 13, 14 years old, racing together, having normal teenage stuff, sleepovers, stuff that you do with your buddies. To know that we're all going to be competing for the most part underneath the same roof next year at the top level of the sport that we've worked our entire lives to compete at. That's something you can't make up, and it's cool to be a part of that. My wife and I were actually reflecting here recently about that phone call, because when it happened, it was right in the middle of a lot of other things going on, and all of a sudden I got a call from Richard, said, "Hey, we're doing it. We're going to put our heads down, and you're going to be our driver next year." So I didn't really get to kind of soak that in, and I know once we finish the task at hand in 2018 with the Xfinity Series Championship in front of us, once we can get through this, I think it'll really set into what my plans are, what my goals are in 2019 in the Cup level, and to know it's a mountain I've been climbing for a long time, and look forward to continue that climb.
You've known Richard Childress for a long time, but he's also a businessman. He wouldn't give you this opportunity unless he really truly believed in you, that you could succeed at the next level. What does that mean to have his trust?
It's everything, right? You hope to have people support you, to believe in you, and to give you the opportunities, not because, oh, we like this guy, we're going to give him a shot. There's always something in it for everybody, and I hope what his something for me is that he believes that I can bring the company and take it down a path that it needs to be taken down. And I think myself and Austin and Ty and really everybody at RCR, our relationship together is going to allow us to do those things and do it in a positive manner. And to know that just the ties of where I've come from, where I've been, the way I had to do it growing up, taking my own race cars to the track, building race cars, doing those things, I feel like is the integrity and the side of why he believes in me and he's given me the shot that he's given me. And all I can do now is try to do my job, and that's all I can lay my head down at night knowing I did that, and look forward to doing it for many years.
Essentially, you're filling the car that was driven by Ryan Newman, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you feel like there's shoes to fill there?
I think at every level there's shoes to fill, but the expectation, I feel like anybody that knows me will say that nobody's going to put more pressure or expectation on themselves than what I am personally. So I have my own goals and what I expect out of myself and how I expect myself to perform and improve week after week. So nothing that anybody's going to expect is going to be any higher than what that is I expect of myself. So look forward to hopefully being able to rise to the occasion on all those levels and be able to change those goals as we meet them throughout the year. And no matter how it turns out, yeah, it's a big deal, right? I mean, Ryan Newman, in my opinion, is one of the better ones to ever drive a race car in our sport, and he's done a lot for the company of RCR, and his fan base is huge. And hopefully we can turn some of those guys over to our bandwagon and keep the brand moving forward to RCR.
2017, 2018, I mean, it's been a span of your life, a short period of your life that's just kind of been whirlwind, has it not? I mean, you've gotten married, and now you're going to be riding in the main series next season. You get that call. Have you had the time to reflect with your wife, who's also, you know, a racer as well, or was?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she raced full-time up until about 2 years ago, and that's a cool dynamic that we can share together. So as we've went through the last couple of years, I've told everybody, and her and I get to share that together, that every race weekend is one that we never thought we'd have a chance to share together. So we try to embrace that. We try to, you know, not take it for granted. And as my career has continued to go the direction it has, and she's been there every step of the way, and people can say, "Oh, my wife gets it. They understand what I do for work." Now, let me tell you, my wife gets it. Okay, she has lived it. She understands it. The dynamic of us being gone roughly 40 weeks a year is what it comes out to be. That takes a lot on anybody's relationship, marriage, the things, your family you're missing out. So you got to have a rock there to stand on. And she's been that person, and it's cool that we can share that together and continue to move forward. Your thoughts on Texas Motor Speedway? I love that place. Texas is fast, man. It was one of my favorite racetracks, honestly, going to as a 1.5 mile years ago in the Truck Series. I think 2015 was the first time I went there. And since the repave last year and having a chance to compete there twice, the place is, 3 times I've competed there recently. It's so fast. 3 and 4 at that racetrack is probably one of the highest sustained speeds we have inside of our race cars. One of the most vertical load you feel when you get in the corner. Your body compresses, you can feel it in your back, and that's an incredible feeling that you can't explain to somebody. Then you get all the way down to turn 1, and it's completely flat. You feel like you got a ton of racetrack, really narrow groove, and it makes the racing very exciting at that end because everybody's cars handle way different because of how different that end of the racetrack is. So it's a big challenge for the teams, for the drivers. You got to kind of weigh that risk versus reward of you want to be good here or be good there or try to be an average of both. It's going to be interesting to see who excels the challenge.
Be a great place to get the first win, right?
Hey, there's no better place than the next one, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, finally, the Tar Heels, ranked 8th in the preseason, behind other blue bloods though, like Kentucky, Duke, Virginia. What kind of season is it going to be for the Tar Heels?
I feel confident in the Tar Heels. Now you're getting me excited talking about something. I actually get to go to a game in December. I got tickets already ready to go. I think Carolina's a young team, right? They're going to be building, but I think the way they've recruited and the people they have coming to play, it's going to be a good year. I think there's a lot of just interest because nobody knows how's Rory going to be able to build this team this year and position them for years ahead. And I think they're going to surprise people. I know they're 8th right now, but I look forward to seeing how they progress.
Well, I think that people are looking forward to see how you progress. You're a young driver, so you're maybe a mirror reflection of the Tar Heels basketball team.
Time will tell here soon enough. The good thing is that we're on the cusp of learning all that here soon.
Thanks for visiting Wichita Falls.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.